that these children are getting today, and we call it the public food system. You know, it's something, but education is key.
Yes.
You know, and us putting aside our religious differences, and because my daughter just graduated from homeschool online from an institute called Aya Institute, and they're based out of Atlanta. But matter of fact, they introduced us to homeschool online. A gentleman named Baba Wakessa and Mama Afia. But they are in Atlanta in their middle 60s. But they had started homeschool interactive online, you know, where all of the teachers, like we're doing, Zoom.
Wow.
This is how the students learn. And in fact, math, a lot of their teachers were mathematicians. Some of their teachers were biologists and scientists. You know, they pulled their resources, got a curriculum, started a school, and it's accredited. My youngest daughter just graduated from Aya Institute, and now she has a full ride in astronomy to the University of Louisville. So,
oh my goodness,
she's moving out in August.
Right.
My other daughter, my next to the youngest, who is 19, she's at Kentucky State, but she graduated from that homeschool online. So we work with that. You know, my wife, primarily in their early years, before we met that couple, we were doing all the teachers. But there are people with schools. Theirs was just so unique, and we got introduced to them by another Muslim brother. I don't know if you remember Brother Shaheed, the math doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, his son, when he had moved from Chicago, because he taught at, of course, the University of Islam at headquarters, but Brother Shaheed had moved from Chicago at a certain point, and the location he moved at didn't have a black school for grade school. So he was teaching college, but his son needed education. So he introduced me to Aya. You know, that was back in 2005, 2006. And my oldest daughter, Hanifa, she started there. And then the rest of our children have been sent there, and we work with them. And my wife came on as a teacher with that group. Then my wife started a school, helped another sister start a school that her children went to that same Aya Institute, but they broke off and started their own school and still work with and still get counsel from the Aya Institute. You know, because they know they can't teach everybody.
Right.
So what they do is that's an example of group unity. They offer their wisdom. You know, and there's tuition that has to be paid, but you know, that's another thing. Our people need to prioritize responsibilities.
Amen.
We pay for everything else.
Amen.
If we're going to do for self, that's one of the things we're going to have to sacrifice.
Amen.
And pay for our children's education.
Yeah.
Because that's a job. Teaching is a job.
Yes. Well, that's one thing I really learned in working closely with Sister Layla at her school here.
Yes.
I mean, I think we were so, I don't know how you'd want to put it, but you know, we think that the U.S. government's offering us free education, and so you know, it's that free comes at a major cost.
Yes, it does.
% reading proficiency in the elementary level.
Matter of fact, in the opening chapters of Message to the Black Man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad addresses that. He says we need to become proficient in the acquisition of knowledge. He said more than just the 3 R's, arithmetic, reading and writing, but uh, he said education, universal education, we have to be proficient, but of course, reading and writing is the fundamental things we have to learn, and in order to continue our education.
Amen.
But Honorable Elijah Muhammad addresses, he addresses that in Message to the Black Man. There's hardly a subject that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in that book does not address.
Brother, where can people, particularly Black men, where can they get a copy of Message to the Black Man?
They can go right now to www.store.finalcall.com.
Okay.
And I believe the books, they're either $10 or $14, but very, very inexpensive.
Yeah.
Very inexpensive. But they can get them online right there. And those Message to the Black Mans are published by the Nation of Islam, now under the auspices of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So they can get them right from the source.
Right. Brother, I gotta get, man, this is powerful interview. I really appreciate you taking time out, and I appreciate you taking me back to Akiva Line Images in 1991.
No, brother, hey, no, I appreciate you. It just when I thought I said it warmed my heart, because it took me, like you, it took me back.
Yeah.
You're older than me, but that was a period of I was just now getting into quenching that thirst for knowledge, man. And there's nothing like that feeling.
Yes, sir.
And then I would come in that bookstore, and I remember asking you, what books should I get? I want to read this and study this. And you would say, brother, you might want to try this book over here. Yeah. I said, he probably don't remember. It's been so long. It's been 91.
Yeah.
It's been so long ago. And, my story is, we have to maybe do a podcast on that, on how I even got there, because my mother introduced me to the knowledge itself, even though she wasn't a member of the Nation of Islam, but she was a supporter. But as I wrote in the bio, life circumstances,
right,
she's the one that encouraged me to go to the Keeper bookstore and go over there. She would go, and then when I would go without her, that's when I ran into you over there. And different subjects. I still got my book, I think by John Henry Clark.
Oh yeah.
What's it, in the African studies, Black menticide, genocide in the African studies. I got a book by not John Henry Clark, but it's his contemporary brother. In fact, he donated most of his books to the nation. Dr. Yosef.
Dr. Ben?
Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
Upon his death, he donated all of his books to the Nation of Islam.
Wow.
To the university. But I remember getting some of his books. You had directed me to that. I remember getting Walter Rodney's book.
Oh yeah.
How Europe under the Africa. Brother, I wanted to take the time to thank you, because you were key and just get me into the sphere of just this type of thanking.
All right.
I thank you for working there, and I'll never forget you.
All right. Thank you, brother. And I'm humbled by that. Brother, we will be in touch, okay?
Please.
All right.
And now I'm gonna finish now whooping up on this brother over here. And I'm gonna show him what do for self really looks like on his board.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'll be in touch.